So, some huge news that happened in the world of gaming here this past week. The Nintendo Switch Direct happens, breaks, practically broke the internet for a period of time.
Yeah, it was split down the middle between like people being very excited for it and people being very annoyed with it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it because, okay, so we got the Nintendo Switch 2. Let's kind of start there. So, before we start going into like price and stuff like that, Jeff, let's talk the Switch 2 as a whole. I do like, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say
About
that
time. About time.
it's about time.
About time Nintendo finally put their foot back in the race.
Yeah. And it does look like an upgrade to me.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, it is. It looks amazing. I do enjoy the bigger screen.
Yep.
I enjoy the bigger storage, especially, and I definitely enjoy the what's the
Game chat.
no. It's bootleg Discord. It looks so bad.
Yeah, it looks
But at least
terrible.
they were honest with people saying, "Yeah, this is gonna suck," but at least now you have it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think it's a bad thing for, like, especially if you have kids and Nintendo Switch, you know what I mean? It's like one of those things, like they said there's going to be parental controls on it, but I could see that being a big issue. Like,
yeah,
you know,
they've always had parental controls both for the DS and the Switch.
yeah.
And all it does is take a parent just to download the app, put in their Nintendo Switch account that's on the device, and then just
Make it so that they can't
Yeah.
access it or whatever.
yeah, make sure they can ask certain functions. I did enjoy a lot of the other stuff that they implemented that
The
are part-
the Joy-Con's magnetic now.
Yeah, the Joy-Con's magnetic now. I still think that little thing on the end is going to break easily.
Which one?
Okay, so if you open
The C button?
No, not the C button. If you pull out the Joy-Con, there's a little like plug for where the controller can like slot in and charge, and it's very small and it looks very thin. And it looks like it's gonna snap like a twig.
You know what? Because I was going to bring up, I think when they're using it as a mouse,
Yeah.
it's going to break. I like, at least from the way I'm looking, when I saw some people that were actually like, they had some like testers or whatever,
Yeah.
and they were testing it. I was like, dude, I don't know if it's going to be that durable.
I think it's cool as a concept.
It's
I'll
cool,
I'll have to wait to see what games can work with it, because
Yeah.
they showed off the basketball wheelchair game, which if you've seen that sport in real life, it's actually a very cool sport to watch. Like they go hard on that sport, and it actually does look like a fun game to play with friends. And I do like that this is the game. It's like Arms, but for the Switch 2.
Yeah.
I think it looks cool. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for certain people who like sports games.
Yep.
And
The LED is going to be larger.
yeah, the screen's a lot bigger.
Yeah.
They also showed off with the mouse controls for the Metroid game,
Yeah.
that you can actually use the Metro game, the mouse function for the Metro game, which I think will be cool, because then they can bring over more first-person games to the Switch too.
Yeah.
Which, especially since they're bringing over a lot of good games to the Switch too.
Yeah. I think, yeah, to me at least, it seems like an upgrade. I know some people are like, oh, it's not that much of an upgrade. No. I mean, it's an upgrade.
It's an upgrade.
It's an upgrade for sure.
I mean, 8 times the storage. That alone is an upgrade to me.
That's a huge upgrade. Like,
8 times the storage, 4K docked, which is amazing. 1060p undocked, which is, I think, is as powerful as the Steam Deck, right?
I don't know if is it 1060?
I don't know about this. I don't
The
know much
Steam
about,
Deck?
I don't know
I'm
much
not
about the
sure.
Steam Deck, but I know
Yeah.
it's on par with it. The only thing I thought I saw people complaining about the new stuff is the downgrade of the battery size,
Yeah.
which I don't know if they're going to fix that. It's still a while, especially since
It'll probably be like a separate thing that you can buy maybe separately. I don't know.
maybe, who knows. I do know they focused a lot more on the cooling aspect. Like the docking port has like a dedicated cooling fan, which
Yep.
is great.
Yeah.
Even though I've never owned a regular Switch, I just bought a Switch Lite, because half the time when I'm playing Pokemon games or Nintendo games in general, I'm
On the move.
I'm on the move, or I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
Chill
Yeah.
on the couch.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think both of us were like, okay, yeah, the Nintendo Switch 2 overall looks, it's definitely an upgrade, period. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we'll get to the price here shortly. Number 2, Mario Kart World.
I like it.
I do too. I think that Mario Kart World looks, I mean, I think it looks great. I mean, yeah, it's a
It's
I would have
basically
preferred. I mean, they almost had to do Mario Kart World or Mario Kart or
they had to do something.
Mario Party, Super Mario Odyssey
Well, they wouldn't do
2.
Mario Party because they just came out with Jamboree.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So coming out with Mario Kart World.
Speaking of Jamboree, uh, did you see what they could do now with Jamboree and Mario Kart in general? Is that if you have the camera hooked up to the Switch 2, it will put your face next to your character to see your actual reaction, which I think is diabolical.
I didn't see that. Wait, did they have it at the Direct?
They had it at the
Did they?
Direct, yeah. I was like, the first thing that I came was like, okay, now I can just shit talk my friends playing Mario Party, and they can see my reaction when I steal a star from them.
Oh
Because
my
as
god.
much as people like to say Mario Kart is a kid's game, it is. But man, when adults play it, the hate comes out. There's no more. There's nothing more spiteful than taking someone's star with a boo bell. Because you're just like, I'm just want to screw you over.
Yeah. I would say that Mario Kart World, it does look like, once again, it
Mhm.
feels like the Nintendo Switch
Yeah.
2. It feels like an upgrade, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like an upgrade. The graphics look good. I mean, it
cast
does.
of characters
It's
is
not
great.
like mind-blowing graphics to me. But it's like the colors are vibrant,
Oh, yeah.
bright. I mean, it looks like an upgrade.
Yeah, not to mention they added in a bunch of new like ways to drive around. Like you can wall ride,
Yeah.
grind on rails. I think that's very cool.
Yeah.
Not to mention the cast of characters that they added in. You can play as a crab, not the shark, the cow from Moo Moo Meadows, which is like arguably the best track in the game series. At least the most well known.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. The only thing that I could say that's not needed is the outfit styles. I don't think that's needed, but it is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
If the outfits are earnable and not purchasable, I'll be fine with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did see a lot of interesting new items too that they added into like the item blocks.
Yeah, they added a lot.
They
It
added a
looks like-
golden shell that where if you once you fire it, it leaves a trail of coins behind it. I think I know Kamek's got an item. I don't know what it is. Maybe it'll function like the boo, but the boo just steals stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say that besides obviously Nintendo Switch 2 is going to take the focal point, but Mario Kart World, and there was one other game that, at least to me, but that I kind of want to round this out. I mean, we could talk about Donkey Kong and stuff like that, but to round it out,
Speaking of Donkey Kong, the last open world Donkey Kong game was 30 years ago or some shit.
what? So is it confirmed open world?
Yes.
Okay, I missed that part of the
It's from the
direct.
same people who made Odyssey.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Same people who made Odyssey.
Okay, now you've piqued my interest.
The thing is also like people were saying like why is there no Diddy Kong? It's because Diddy Kong is owned by Rare Studios.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
that's why Donkey Kong hasn't been able to make games recently is because of that reason. The last Donkey Kong game I think was like Donkey Kong Country Returns, which was Nintendo and Rare.
So now with this Donkey Kong,
New
so
model.
this is what that developer's been working on.
Yep.
They haven't been working on a sequel to Super Mario Odyssey.
Not to mention, in general, as an IP, they redesigned Donkey Kong. Like
Sweet.
He looks a lot more like he did in the Super Mario movie. Like it looks very inspired by that, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with that. Like he looks good.
Yeah, as long as he looks good. And I mean, obviously, yeah, I'm excited about. I mean, I'm excited about it, but
I know
now that I know that the developer, who was the developer? I'm trying to remember who the developer was for
Odyssey.
Yeah. I forget. But anyways, now that I know that, it's piqued my interest.
Yeah. As soon as I heard that, like Donkey Kong got a redesign, I was like, okay, so they're probably gonna make a new Donkey Kong game. When was the last one? Like years ago. And then I'm watching this direct. I was like, it's Donkey Kong, so they'll probably just slip him in the middle. I was not expecting it to be at the very end of the direct.
Yeah.
But again, it is a very momentous moment.
It is. Oh, I mean, especially if you have that team working on it too. That's
And like
huge.
especially like people, because I know a lot of people are hardcore Donkey Kong fans. Like one of my favorite YouTubers who plays like Pokemon games and stuff, he lost his shit when he saw that it was DK, and he thought for sure, I was like, nah, man, this is Odyssey 2. Because like you could tell, like he's like, man, I would like to see a Donkey Kong game, but I doubt it. I mean, I heard about the redesign.
He flipped his shit.
Oh my god, he lost his shit, and it was so funny. And
That's hilarious.
that man went through a rough week the week before, but he's doing better now. But yeah,
Well, okay.
yeah,
So the last part of this,
yeah,
or the last game that I think piqued my interest, it probably piqued yours, is this new Souls game,
yeah.
the Dusk Bloods.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know how much money Nintendo had to pay Miyazaki to get the next game after Elden Ring exclusively on the Switch.
on the Switch, yeah,
That's ballsy.
yeah. I mean, like it looks.
Considering the last exclusive Dark Souls game was probably arguably the best Dark Souls game, being Bloodborne.
Yeah. I mean, it looks good.
I know
But
a
you know
lot of
what? I'm not as big into the Souls game. You're probably way bigger into the Souls games than I
Not
am.
really.
I like, you know, I like The Witcher. I like,
yeah,
you know,
I've tried my damnedest to play Dark Souls 3. My first one was 2, which is a mistake because 2 is awful.
yeah.
3 is good. I just wasn't a big fan of Dark Souls games. And then Elden Ring came out, and I put in so much time into that game, and I loved it. I tried
Yeah.
playing Sekiro. I couldn't. I just didn't like it. I know that's sacrilege to Soulsborne players. But
Well, no, I don't think it is. But
the Elden Ring was great. The Shadow of the Earth Tree was amazing. I still love that in my friend group, I was the very first one to beat Melania solo. Suck it. I know who you're talking to. I know who I'm talking to.
but the Dusk Bloods looks. I mean, like I said, I'm not. When I saw it, I was like, okay, it piqued my interest more than you know some of the other
Yeah.
stuff. But
First thing I thought of when I saw it was Bloodborne coming to the Switch.
Yeah.
Which in my mindset, I was like, if that happens, Xbox players will riot.
yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Like,
I thought
they
it
will
was.
riot. I don't even. Is it even on PC?
What's that?
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne? I think it is.
I don't think it is.
It's not?
I don't know. I don't think it is because Sony's very like restrictive of all the stuff they put on Steam. I don't think
That's
is it on-
interesting.
I'll look it up real quick. But yeah,
Well, I like and the trailer for the Dusk Bloods.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it didn't like. I'm intrigued, but it didn't like win me over. Like, oh, this looks like the next Witcher, you know, or like whatever, you know, like
oh yeah, no.
something like really, really special to me. Like, I'm excited that people who are going to be getting the Switch too, which is probably going to be a lot of people, will have a Souls-like game as an option.
Yeah, and I think someone made a good argument. By the way, it's not on Steam.
It's what?
Bloodborne's not on Steam.
It's not.
No,
Wait,
that's-
you said what did you say?
I said I was.
Oh, PC. You said PC. Yeah, yeah.
It's not on Steam.
Okay.
I imagine you could port it over, but yeah. But yeah, I heard someone make a good argument saying for Dustbloods is a good way to introduce people who play the Switch exclusively
Mhm.
to Dark Souls.
To
games.
Dark Souls, yeah,
And
100%.
even if they don't like the Dustbloods, Elden Ring comes out with it.
Right. Well, with that, this leads us into the pricing of this stuff. Okay, so we've got, I mean, I got some shit to say. I know you probably got some stuff to say about this as well. Man, dude, the backlash that Nintendo has been getting
it's
after-
not looking good for them.
So they announced the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to start at like $449.
I think that's reasonable.
100%.
I think that is
1000% with you.
Considering the Switch was only $320 when it first came out,
Yeah.
I think being $460 with all the upgrades and the fact that you can play Nintendo Switch games on it, I think that is completely fair.
And it's still cheaper than the Xbox Series X and PS5.
Yes, it's still it's still cheaper. I think it's still cheaper than the Steam Deck because the Steam Deck's $500.
Yeah, or something. And so you can get Mario Kart World. And so we're going to talk about Mario Kart World and what they're doing with this. But like, yeah, I'm 100% with you. The people who are like tripping about
The console.
the console being $449.
No.
Look, guys, I mean,
Because you're gonna spend more money on the games than the console itself.
Yeah,
You'll make the initial investment for the console, and then you'll just buy the crap out of the games. Which is why I was always curious, like, why aren't games more expensive than consoles?
okay. And so this leads us, because I think that there were some people, a lot of people were upset about the price of the Switch, but I think what really got people was the price of the games.
Yeah, I think
Okay. that blew the lid.
that I have a problem with.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about this. So,
Yeah.
okay, we have a okay, Donkey Kong apparently is going to come out at $70, but you have Mario Kart World coming out at 80.
$80
It's going to be a different price if you get it with
physical.
as a bundle.
Yeah, this is why I recommend buying the Switch 2 with the Mario Kart bundle, because even still, it's just barely under $500,
Yeah.
which I think is totally worth it. You get a brand new game that
Mhm.
comes out with the console, and it's still under $500, which I think is amazing. So the big problem is that first party games, aka anything made with Nintendo's like a watermark on it. So like Donkey Kong, Mario Kart, Pokemon, all that type of stuff is going to be running $80 digital and $90 physical.
Mhm.
Which a big problem with the physical is there's no game data on those physical cards. It's just a key.
Yeah,
Which
they're trying to
is
force everybody into the digital stuff
which
almost.
I
mean,
get.
it's what it feels
I
like.
get why like you're not putting any game data on the cartridge anymore, because for one, putting all that data from a game onto a tiny cartridge can't be easy,
Mhm.
especially like Nintendo's track record of trying to condense games into cartridges. It's just not gonna work. So I understand why. I don't know why it's still $10 more
The
physical.
physical copy, yeah. I think it has something to do with them trying to push everyone to digital. But do you have okay, so for me, I don't have a problem with the price increase for Mario Kart World, and I'll tell you why. I know a lot of people have an issue with it going up to $80, but listen, here's the deal. So guys, if we go back, like, I mean, we could go back to Halo 2 or Halo 1. These games, I mean, it was almost like a standard across the industry that it was for a AAA game, it was $60, $59.99 to be exact. And
Yeah.
it was like that for a very long
Oh
time.
yeah, it was like
With inflation and everything else, it stayed the same price. Now, more recently, last couple of
it's been
years,
going up to like 70s to high 70s.
Yep, it's going up to like $70. I think Call of Duty Black Ops 6 was like $70 for like their standard edition or whatever.
Yeah.
What I think I think the reality is, Jeff, is that people they weren't expecting Nintendo to be the ones to do this. They thought it was going to be Rockstar. And I do think that GTA is going to probably continue resetting the market. I think that this is leading us into a untapped realm of gaming.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is you see how Nintendo, they're like, okay, we set Donkey Kong at 70 and we're setting Mario Kart World at 80. I think what's going to happen now is back when like the original Xbox to the 360 to the Xbox One, it was almost like all the AAA game developers were all on the same level, like in terms of, yo guys, the cost of the game is $60, $59. And it was like an agreement. Now I feel it's about to change where it's like, no, our Mario Kart World is going to be, this is just a, like, whatever. However they decide to put certain games into like certain categories of price, I think we're going to start seeing, I don't believe that because GTA 6 is going to be, say, $100, I don't think that means that all the other AAA game developers are going to make their games 100. They might try, and they're going to probably fucking fail.
So here's the thing with what increases gaming prices for me is if they do this, they release the game, like for example Mario Kart World that comes out and it's $80. I know they are talking about lowering the prices of stuff because of how much people hate the prices.
Yeah.
So they might go down, and I can probably see Mario Kart World being like 75 to 80, around that area. I can totally see that. But here's also the big problem is if the games are still $80, what happens when a DLC comes out and they charge you 30 to 40 for like a pack of skins, which that is where I think problems will rise even higher, because if you pay, like, for example, I think in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe you could pay for like a DLC pack, and you got like special characters. They really didn't do much to stats, but it was just like a comfy little skins. So if they do that and make it $40, people will be fuming.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think you're right about the DLC thing. That's something that they're going to have to for
If
sure figure out, unless they
if
make it like you
if
pay the 80 and the
mhm,
DLC comes with it. Now, they're not giving us that indication, at least from Nintendo. I don't
yeah,
know if others will try to say you get all the DLC that
yeah.
comes out for this specific game or whatever.
Honestly, what I think they should do is what Capcom does with Monster Hunter. I think it's a very good thing to do. Is that Capcom, they release Monster Hunter and then they release free title updates throughout the game's life cycle. And
Mhm.
then at the end, they usually cap off with like this really cool boss or something like that that kind of like shifts the meta every now and then. Not only does it free, it pulls players back to your game to
Yeah.
try new things, to see what else has been added to the game.
Here's the second part though, Jeff, that the reason why I'm okay with the price increase, like I don't think that all games need to be $100, like if
No,
GTA 6 does that. But here's the thing. Did you hear about the leak that came out about how much it cost Rockstar to make GTA 6?
no, I have not.
They're saying it is $1 to $2 billion to develop GTA. So guys, listen to this.
I mean,
Okay, if it's okay, because GTA 5
yeah,
was there, the estimates based on company earnings and stuff from in reports from Rockstar was 200 million to make GTA 5. GTA 6 they're saying 1 to 2 billion. Now it's a leak that came out. We do not know for sure. We're going to find out at some point during the quarterly reports. So what I'm saying is, let's just let me put it to you guys in context here. Let's say the game stayed at $60, right? And the cost of development is going up, and we're talking just development. Now,
yeah,
I would probably say that the budget that it cost Rockstar to make GTA 5 is what they're going to spend on marketing alone, 100 to 200 million for sure.
yeah,
So you're talking $2.2 billion to make this game, and they're going to make the money back even if it was $70. But what people don't understand is if you keep the price at say 60, well, what's going to happen is these development like companies are going to think to themselves, well, you know what? We're going to have to cut costs in certain areas because we can't pay all the salaries. They can't do all the things. So what's going to happen, guys, is you're going to get lower quality games that are coming out, and they get plugged in on Xbox Game Pass, which we talked about the
yeah,
last episode of the Dark Zone. It gets plugged in on Xbox Game Pass, and then you start getting these games similar to Netflix, where there's just like a void of shit,
yeah.
And so
Well,
that's where I get concerned. I want really good games,
with the
and I'm willing to pay for really good games,
yeah,
but
with the rise of low quality games, you never know when a diamond in the rough is going to happen.
yeah,
Because you
yeah,
have, especially not to mention with prices going up, cheaper games are going to become more popular. Prime example being Lethal Company. It's a pixel like game that is ridiculously fun for people who like getting scared.
yeah.
Then you have Repo, which is I've seen blowing up as of late.
Repo's sick.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love Repo. I think it's funny, just these little robots that can just shrink down to frisbee discs be tossed around and stuff. I think it's funny.
cool. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, and then you have what's that one? It's a weed game that's just been blowing up on Steam.
Oh shit.
I can't remember what it's
Yeah,
called, but yeah,
no.
that game's been blowing the fuck up. As far as like people playing it, it's just been nonstop people playing it.
Mm.
And it's kind of funny. It's not you just making drugs. It's like weird drugs. Like you can make weed that makes you blow up. Stuff like that.
I love it.
It's dumb fun like that, but that's what happens when like the AAA games come out and they raise prices. People are going to flock to these cheaper games because
Yeah.
they can afford them,
Mhm.
which is
And
fine.
that's the double-edged sword of it, right? I
Yeah.
mean, like, and I think that's part of the game development, or the game developers and publishers that are making these games. They've got to make very calculated decisions on, well, because we have this great IP like Assassin's Creed, we're going to make it $100. Dude, no,
No.
no, you're not going to do that. No, you are not. Like,
all you're gonna do is just piss off what fans you have left.
right. And so I think it's like game to game basis. I think now we're getting into, like I said, a time within gaming where even the game developers of AAA, studios, they are changing prices of each individual game, like Donkey Kong versus Mario Kart World.
I'm gonna say this: Nintendo is in a very, I wouldn't say they have the spotlight right now as far as them setting the new standard, because they have two options. They could back down and lower the prices of those games by like 15 to $10, which again would be fine. But if they don't and they keep them as they are, that's going to shake the industry as a whole. Because there's always going to be those groups of people, there's always going to be those types of players, and there's always going to be those types of gamers who won't care about pricing, and then just buy it, and that's probably what's going to help lean Nintendo into option B, is like, with whatever the price is, people are still going to buy it, which will suck for like the common gamer.
For sure.
There's not really a lot of comfort gaming anymore, which is a shame.
But I will tell you that I think they've got the spotlight right now, but GTA, Rockstar is going to get the spotlight very soon.
They will sweep that.
I think Nintendo is just going to hang tight once GTA 6 gets there, because apparently at the end of this month they're releasing a new trailer, and they're probably with the release date. And I think that they're just going to kind of hold tight, and then because once GTA... Now, what would be the craziest shit ever is if GTA 6 gets announced at $70. Like, can you imagine, bro?
I can see it to be 80 to 200.
Dude, that would be absolutely hilarious. But anyways, with that said, guys, we'd love to hear your guys' thoughts about this in the comment section down below.
One more thing about Nintendo is, did you see what they're doing with their old games that are getting like the Switch 2 upgrade?
Yeah.
I think that's cool. I mean, depending on how much those upgrade packs are going to cost.
Yeah.
I think that will depend on people buying it. But yeah, that's all I got to say about Nintendo.
Yeah. Well, it'd be interesting to hear from all of you guys what you guys think about the Nintendo Switch Direct, what you think about the Switch 2, Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong, the Dusk Bloods, and then, of course, the pricing. We'd love to hear your guys' thoughts about it in the comment section down below, and let us know your thoughts.